Hello, everyone. We are excited to have you joining us on this call tonight, and I am super excited to do it. It's crazy how fast our teams have grown just in the past year, and we all come from different backgrounds, different walks of life. So many things that make us different, but one thing makes us the same. We're passionate about what we're doing, and we believe really strongly that everybody should be doing this business. It's incredible. It's amazing. As you guys know, we all were in Hawaii this year. It was everyone's first year. Last year, I was a Ruby, and a couple of these ladies were silver, gold, senior golds. Excuse me, to actually go to Hawaii with 5 jewels under me was really incredible. If you've heard my story, you know that I was stuck at gold for 18 months. And once I kind of got my stuff together and focused on my mindset and really drawing my line in the sand and going all in, things exploded. And these ladies, they drew their lines in the sand, and they're going to share with you kind of what their daily lives were like, how they got to Maui. So ladies, how did you get to Maui? What's like a brief overview of your story? Cody, do you want to go first?
Oh, I want to go first. So I would say there's a lot of things to this business, right? We say that it is simple, but it's not easy. I would say that the thing that got me to Kona this year was consistent hard work. You can't just post on Facebook and call it a day. You have to really reach out to people, and you have to be consistent about it. You can't stop. And another thing that kind of changed things for me is owning that I was a network marketer and I was a network marketing professional, and I wasn't apologizing or scared or afraid to say that, So when you sign up for Plexus and you decide that you're going to work this business, you can't be ashamed to say that you do it, right? You have to own it. You're an entrepreneur. You just started your own business, and we are in the greatest business model in the world, right? This opportunity gives ordinary people the chance to do extraordinary things, and there's a lot of people that we know that need our help and need an opportunity like this. So be proud of what you're doing.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did we get to Maui? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, what got you there?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the same things Cody said. Hard work, consistency, sacrifice, making it a priority, working your business like a business, just waking up every single day knowing I have work to do. If you treat this like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. And also building belief in the products and in myself, because I tend to be pretty passionate about things that I believe in, and belief was something that held me back for a long time. So personal growth for sure. Mindset changes for sure. And then also, I think last year when I saw the jewels in Hawaii, a lot of them I knew had joined around the same time I had, and I knew them personally, and I knew that they really weren't much different from me at all, homeschool moms. I just thought, if they can do this, I can totally do this. There's no reason why I couldn't. And so that really motivated me to draw my line in the sand and do what it took to get there. I mean, it really was my dream to take my family to Hawaii. So that's pretty much what got me there.
Mm-hmm. All about that mindset and belief that you can do this. Tiffany, I know you got a little new baby now. Is now a good time for you to share?
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't have wanted to hear it a second ago. So I didn't hear everything everyone said. So sorry if I repeat a few things, but definitely my passion and my belief in these products, just deciding that I was going to be all in, because my story, I didn't do a lot for quite a few months. And when I decided that I wanted this and that I was going to go all in, that's kind of when everything changed. And again, personal growth. I started just really working with my team and helping to develop other leaders. And I had a passion for and a belief for the product, this business, for network marketing. That was a really big one. And how this could change our families' lives, change the lives of others. I think one of you ladies might have mentioned about network marketing, but that's a big thing that holds a lot of people back, that they don't believe in it enough to know that really this is the job of the future. I mean, there's so many opportunities in network marketing. It's absolutely incredible. If you really dig into it and read more about it, you can build an incredible business in a short amount of time compared to people that are spending years doing this, years, 10, 20, even longer. So I think those are definitely, I mean, I'm so huge on belief. That was what really pushed me. I knew these products worked. I knew they were changing my lives and our lives, and I was ready. And that's still something that fuels me and drives me now. So, yeah.
Yes, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but Tiffany has a little baby, and her husband, he is a Black Hawk pilot, and he got called in today to go flying. And one thing none of these ladies did last year while they were growing was make excuses. I didn't hear any excuses. They wanted this, and they went for it. She's burping a baby, feeding bottles, and working her business. So, Jamie, Sue.
And I might look a little rough, so excuse that, but it's real life, y'all. and I built this business mostly pregnant, so just throwing away all those excuses, huge.
Yep. Okay, Jamie.
All right, I worked my tail off, and for me that meant when I decided to go all in, which was pretty much right away when I started, very shortly after, that meant basically doing whatever my upline, Tiffany and Fallon, told me to do. I decided if I was going to do this, I needed to follow their advice and just go all in. So that meant doing it scared, essentially, for me, because I'm a person who can be very, doubt myself or lack confidence a little bit. Wasn't very sure that I would necessarily be good at this. So I needed to borrow kind of that belief and that confidence through them. And by doing that, by going all in and doing whatever they basically told me to do, that's what I did. And I took one step at a time, whether or not it was scary or not. And it got better, and I grew by doing that, not by waiting until I had it all together or knew exactly how the products work or what to say to prospects, or had that belief in myself 100%. I just started off and did it, and that came with time. So that was really important for me and a big step for me. And then just consistency, and what my upline told me was things like being in our 3-2-1 accountability chats, our IPA, things like plugging into our team calls and not making excuses for missing things, trying my best to be at absolutely everything, and making sacrifices of my time and having a dirty house and staying up late and, things like that, I don't have time or anything, but I made the time. And like Val said, you kind of throw the excuses out the window.
I love Jamie's story. I love the part how she was so coachable, because that's so important. If you want to go to Hawaii, your jewel uplines, whatever your upline is, the people who are successful, they're not telling you need to be on the calls just for the fun of it. It's because it's important. They're not telling you to do your personal growth so you can quit working your business and do personal growth. Like Jamie said, growing as you're earning and ranking up and making the money. It's so important to do both, because that's how you're going to get experience, is by practicing what you're learning. So, Sue, share with us what got you to Hawaii. Let me unmute you. Is she frozen?
Maui next year, yes. Yeah. Am I here? Am I there?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, my internet's really not very good, so bear with me here. Yeah, while going last, I think I'm going to repeat everything everybody said, but they're all very important things and good things. Yeah, constantly working, constantly looking for ways to share the products and promote the business. Yep, belief, that's huge. You have to believe in the products and in yourself and in the business model, because they all work together. My team was awesome, and obviously, helped a ton, but you can't sit back and think your team's going to get you to Hawaii. You have to put in that work yourself. It's got to come from you. You have to be a leader and show your team as well, and then, yes, tons of sacrifices, like Jamie said, dirty house. Yeah, I have 5 kids. We're going all the time. And you try and make time for the team calls and that the personal growth, IPA, you've got to put in that time. Duplication is huge. Duplicate what your upline is doing, because they are up there for a reason. Yeah, duplication is huge. So I can't say enough about that for sure. And then just do your cold calls, do your IPA, your posts. It's all going to help you get there, but the consistency is really key.
Thank you. Can you guys see me? I had messages that I was frozen. Okay, good. Yes, Sue, I love that. So we've talked a lot about, having a messy house. So I want to know, I know I talked to all of you, my level 1s, 2s, and 3s, and told you guys what Lori told me you guys can clean in a year. If you have a strong why, you're going to get through it. The little bit of vacuuming you didn't do today, it's okay. You can do it next week, because you have a goal and you are on a mission. So whoever wants to go first, but I want you guys to talk about your why. What got you out of bed every morning when 10 people told you no the day before? What kept you going?
For me, being in the law enforcement, and it wasn't Chris's career, it affected our whole entire family. And as many of you know, police officers don't make that much money. So, and having a large family was something that we were really passionate about. We both wanted that. But in order for us to make ends meet, he had to work his full-time job on the road. He also had to have a part-time job. And these things that people don't like, click it or ticket or Operation Pullover, all that stuff, he had to volunteer for all of it. And I mean, he was paid for it, but he was the first person that the guys knew to call for anything extra. I mean, sometimes they have up here in Indianapolis, Buffalo Wild Wings that gets a little crazy on 25-cent wing night. And they would call him, hey, do you want to work this for a couple hours for $20 an hour? And he would do it every single time. He had to. We needed the money. So my why in the beginning when I first started working the business was to take some of the pressure off of him. He wasn't enjoying the family that we wanted so badly, and we were blessed enough to have. He wasn't enjoying the kids. He wasn't around. He wasn't here. So that was my why. And then once I was able to do that, and he was able to quit his part-time job and not have to work that extra stuff, now they don't even pay Jim no more when they have extra stuff because they know he's going to turn it down. But my why evolved now. I want to retire him. I'm going to retire this man 10 years early. He was going to work probably until the day he died, but I mean, you got to put 20 years in to retire. But I'm going to retire this man early. He's going to be done after 10 years.
Mm-hmm. And you brought up a really important point, Cody. When your why isn't big enough anymore to motivate you, like my why, I retired my husband too, and I knew my why instantly had to morph, because once you complete that, or if your goal is diamond and you just want to be called a diamond, you have to morph that into something bigger. And now it's to see the girls on my team reach their goals and their dreams. And that motivates me to do the things that I don't necessarily want to on the day I would rather float around my pool, whatever it is. So you have to always be evolving your why. If your team is stagnant and not growing, chances are your why is not big enough. So who wants to go next? Talk about your why. What motivated you?
I'll go next. I totally agree with that about the why, because if you don't, I mean, you have to have something that's going to push you through the inevitable emotional ups and downs that come with this business or any business. There's nobody there holding your hand or, making you go to work every day. You don't have to clock in or clock out. It's totally up to you. And it's all going to boil down to, why are you doing it? And plus, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. That's what's going to make you passionate about this business and these products, is why. And that is the vision that people are going to catch. It's not the activity, it's not the action, it's your why. That's what people are going to follow. So it needs to be a big why. It has to be able to drive you. So my why was, honestly, it was Hawaii. It seriously was. So when I say that was a dream come true for me to take my family, like, I had tunnel vision for a solid year. I saw those jewels in Hawaii. I knew if they could do it, I could do it. And so I went all in. And somebody asked earlier, what does it look like to go all in? What that means is Plexus is your plan A and your plan B. There are no alternatives. This is it. You're all in. And failure's not an option. You're determined you're going to make it happen. Not I'm going to try it, but I'm going to do it. That's what all in looks like. So it's just really a determination. And so my why was getting to Hawaii, taking my family there. And so I had tunnel vision, and I worked really hard. I made reachable, attainable goals. And I did it. I just had focused, and I broke it down into, like, how many people do I need to add this month? How many people do I need to be reaching out to in order to do that, and things like that. So, and also my husband, mine was along the same as Cody. So we've always desired to have a family-based economy. My husband he worked a full-time job in the construction field, and it was something he enjoyed, but we've always just desired to have a family-based economy, for him to have his own business. But we were never in a financial position to be able to do that, because we were completely dependent on his income. I was a stay-at-home mom, and we have 5 kids that I homeschool. So Plexus has definitely allowed us to do that. He has now quit his full-time job, and he is starting his own business in real estate. So those were my 2 big whys. And now that I have reached those goals, like Fallon said, my why has evolved to something even bigger. So still working on it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Always morphing that why. And the thing about being all in is you're not going to be sidetracked. Nothing can stop you, basically. If you stumble and fall, you're going to pick yourself right back up. You give yourself, what do they say, 30 seconds of a pity party, and you move on. Mm-hmm. So, Sue, do you want to share about your why next? What motivated you every day to get out of bed and work your business?
Definitely, I'm sorry, I was muted. Sorry. Yeah, first it was definitely, it was personal. It was for myself. My why was to get myself better, my health. I had some big health goals I wanted to achieve. I wanted to get off some prescription meds, and I've done that. So after a while, my why kind of changed, and now it's completely and totally to help other people, and just share these awesome products with. And then also, my why is my kids and my family, and lots of other things like stuff we want to do. Our kids to have Christian education in a Christian school, and we support church in Guatemala. I mean, those are all have become my whys now. And now I absolutely want to help my team reach their goals. Like Fallon said, that's a huge why for me now too. So.
Yes. Seeing those little babies and your big babies now, just giving them the life of their dreams, helping them with their future is definitely a huge motivator for a lot of people. Tiffany or Jamie?
Yeah, I'll go ahead here in case he was getting fussy. So my why when I started, I mean, I didn't really have one. When I met Fallon on Craigslist, because she sold me the stroller, I didn't, she didn't think I needed the products. I was thin, but over time, I was on over 10 prescription medications. And so originally my why was like, oh yeah, sure, if these products might do something, okay, yeah, let's try it. Never thought they would do a single thing. It wasn't like me to try any kind of MLM health supplement or anything like that. But after a few months, I did get off all those prescription medications, felt amazing, very healthy. And my why suddenly kind of evolved. We were, my husband is a Black Hawk pilot with the Army, so we weren't doing too bad, but we still had a lot of bills and we were still struggling. And so my why, we really wanted to put the girls in a private Christian educated school, and that was important for us. And so my why developed to wanting that. But it wasn't really enough because, within the first short time I was with Plexus, I had covered that. So I dabbled a little bit, thought, yeah, these products are good. I can help a few people, no big deal. But I had my degree in healthcare, and I kind of knew that I always wanted to do something more with health. I just didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so it came down, my sister, a lot of you might know, she had breast cancer, and she passed away in July of last year, 2015. And that, I always get it. I'm always a mess. But that really, it did a lot for me, because I thought, oh my gosh, people need these products. If we can, save people from a lifetime of prescription medications, and if we can just help them to see the value in their health and help them to get healthy, do something for them, change their life, then that needs to happen. And that was absolutely 150% plus what started to drive me. My why developed into, I have to do this. I have to do this for others. We can't save everybody, but someone can make a difference in someone's life and save someone. And so that really ended up my why. And it's still a huge, it's the factor of why I do what I do, changing the lives. And our other why is my husband he's gone a lot. Our girls tonight were crying, where's daddy? And it's only a night, but it's not always a night. We have deployments and different things that most militaries go through. And so just to be able to retire him, I'm so emotional, y'all. I feel like a nut. But that's another huge part of my why. So to get him home with us so that, he's not away like this tonight, because it breaks my heart when the girls say, can daddy say our prayers? Will he be home shortly? No, not tonight, And so those are pretty big whys for me. So.
And that was my why too. And when I was putting my kids to bed and they would cry, where's daddy? That drove me. I was like, bam, we're bringing him home. I don't want to do this alone anymore. And this is why having a strong why is important, you guys. As Tiffany's sponsor, I saw a night and day shift. I thought her sister passing away was going to shut her down. I thought all her potential was going to be gone, because sometimes that happens when big life changes happen. People just quit. But Tiffany did the opposite. You can let discouragement make you quit, or it can drive you. And instant light switch flipped on, and she was on fire. She is a recruiting machine. And when I'm with her and we're shopping, and her passion for the products, and the second they don't know what Plexus is, she's like, oh my gosh. And she just pours it all on them. And they're like, what's happening? I need Plexus in my life. And they all want what she has because she's passionate. That's what it takes. All these ladies are passionate about what they're doing. Jamie, did you go yet? I don't think so.
No, I didn't. Tiffany, I always love hearing your why.
Thanks, girl. Got a little emotional tonight with the girls too, right before this call. So I think I'm extra emotional because I'm like, I need my husband home. Oh, thanks, ladies.
Can you all hear me okay? My internet just said it was unstable.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So my why started off just wanting to have good products for overall health and preventative stuff. Fallon asked me how much money I wanted to make, and I said maybe $300 a month, and she laughed in my face. And this is when I didn't even hardly know her, because she said that I would be making much more than that. And right when I decided to go all in, it was very shortly starting. I was going to have to go back to work part-time. And I really, really didn't want to do that. I just had always, for me, I always did into staying home with my kids if I could. And that's what I wanted to do. So that really was upsetting to me. But very quickly, I told my husband, give me a few months. It's okay. Give me a few months and I'll be able to make enough for like a part-time job. So that's kind of what drove here. And very quickly, it shifted into helping just pay for being a contributor to the household income and Christian ed and financial freedom, all that just comes with that. So, and as my team's grown, I've just been able to pour into them and develop relationships, cultivate, brand new ones that people I've never met. And so that has been a huge unforeseen, I think, benefit of this whole thing that I never saw coming, having these lifelong friendships that, you have your own Plexus family here and being able to see each other and talk with each other every day. So that's been a huge bonus to this all as well. So
we all definitely agree. There's nothing better than growing these strong relationships and then going on these trips with your new best friends. I love it. So something that happens to everyone in the business is discouragement. You think you just signed up a rock star and they do nothing. You join someone with 5,000 friends on Facebook and they could really change their health, and as soon as they get results, they quit. What did you guys do with that discouragement? Did you ever stop working? And what would you do when someone said something discouraging or your mind tried to bring you down? How did you come out of that?
I think when you really draw your line in the sand and excuses go out the window, something else happens. I think that you become kind of, I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but the no's don't bother you anymore. You know what I mean? So you can't let the no's bother you. But something that I did when I got discouraged, I was very, very blessed to have a supportive husband from the beginning. Even when I took money out of our really tight grocery budget to buy my welcome pack, and I was like, oh, honey, we just joined Plexus. It's going to be okay. I promise. Just trust me. But having his support in this, I was able to go to him and have my little mini pity parties that Fallon was talking about, and have him encourage me and tell me how great I was doing, which is amazing. But I think it's important to set boundaries with your person, whoever that person is that you're going to go to when you're having those kind of days, and make sure they know that you're not going to quit, because their initial reaction is going to say, well, if you're unhappy, if this makes you sad, then quit doing it. You know what I mean? So set that boundary, make sure they know that quitting is not an option for you. But I think everybody needs to have a person. And I think that if you don't have a supportive spouse, go to your sponsor. That's what we're here for. I went to Fallon all the time. I mean, you create a bond and a friendship and a sisterhood really, with these girls. So always go up, never go down into your downline, right? Never complain to your downline. But yeah, my person was definitely my husband and Fallon.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say the exact same people. We all have to have somebody at the end of the day. If you've done your new contacts and you've reached out to 5 new people and only 1 responded, you have to have somebody who thinks you're awesome at the end of the day to plug into and, just lay your head there and cry if you have to. In the beginning, when I first started this business, that really bothered me. And really it boiled down to a lack of belief in the products and a lack of belief in myself. And so it actually made me quit. Like, I got so discouraged that I quit for a whole year. But during that year, I built my belief in the products and in myself by reading a lot of books about health and food and nutrition. And through reading those books, I learned a lot about our products. And then reading books about mindset and just changing the way we think and stuff like that. So I built my belief in those 2 things. And now, when I started working my business again, and I did draw my line in the sand, like Cody said, the rejection doesn't bother me so much anymore. I won't say it never bothers me. I still have days where I feel discouraged, but giving up is never an option. I plug into people that I know love me and think that I'm amazing. My husband is one and Fallon is another. And also I just remind myself that this is normal, because a lot of people tend to think, oh, well, I can't get anybody to sign up because everybody thinks it's too expensive or whatever. We all get the same objections. We all get the same responses or ignores or whatever. So just like knowing that it's normal and knowing that like Kristen Abar, even she gets rejected. She's an awesome diamond, and she still gets rejected. That's just normal. It's part of the territory. I'm not an oddball and I'm not horrible, even though being rejected can make you feel that way. Just knowing that it's normal, I think, really helps encourage.
That was my thing, just knowing I was normal. When I reached out to my sponsor, who's Lori Welch, and told her, like, hey, this is what's happening. And she's like, that's normal. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm so glad I'm in good company with the diamonds. They made it to diamond, and this was normal to talk to 10 people, to get 2 people to sign up. So normal, cool. And I knew I could do it. So that was huge for me too. Who wants to go next? Sue.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, I'm gonna be Cody and to say my husband, and probably my twin sister. Most of you know Sal, and we're just kindred spirits, and we've helped each other. Just stay positive. And I think I just give a little advice in here too, and just let those no's drive you. Every no I got made me want to work harder for the next yes. You know what I mean? So let it drive you harder. To utilize your upline. They are there. We are all here to help you, to bring you out. I can't tell you how many times my upline has brought me out of the pit. Good. And 2, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and that is my go-to probably 90% of the time, the Bible and prayer, and a big part of who I am. And you can always peace in our God. So utilize Him too.
Yes, Sue. That's so important. So important. Jamie?
Yes. So I would say that I had moments of maybe self-doubt or frustration, but honestly, back in the past year, I don't really remember them, or they're not very strong. And the reason that is because I was already talking to Tiffany and Fallon like every single day, and we were having fun and we were chatting. So whenever something maybe did creep up, it was squashed right away. And they were there encouraging me and even having more belief in myself I did at the beginning. So if I were to think of some major calamity or something, like that's not even something that comes, like I can't even think of something because we were there for each other and that was squashed right away. And so if I were to give some advice in that department is to stay in close connection with your upline, or whether that's your husband or whatever your power partner is, someone that's going to go to the top with you, work with them every day and talk to them, get on the phone, have fun with building that relationship, because that's what's going to, keep you going, and having that accountability and being able to be there for each other. Because that was huge for me.
The strong bonds that you have with your team that's what's going to keep them. That's the glue that holds you guys together. There's always going to be good opportunities and good products. I won't go into the details now, but there's nothing like Plexus, but sometimes people will think they need to jump ship and go somewhere else. And the reason most people don't is because of the unity and the bond and the friendships they have on their team. And it just makes life more fun. I mean, we have to stop ourselves from talking to each other about Plexus so much so we can go and work some Plexus. That's a jewel struggle, I think, when you get to that point. It just gets so much fun. You just love being together all the time. Tiffany, you want to share with us what would happen when you would get those discouraging people in your life?
Yeah, definitely. Like the other lady said, my husband is supportive now, but he wasn't always supportive. And he was someone that I could always go vent to. But I mean, I think one of the biggest people that has always been there for me and believed in me in times when I didn't believe in myself was my upline, was Fallon. She's helped me through a lot. She still helps me through a lot. And that's who I've gone to for problems, to get me out of times when I felt discouraged or I let fear creep in or something happened. Because, we all have days and times like that where it does happen. But I know a call to her is going to pull me out of that. And so like the other lady said, just staying in touch with your upline, it's so important. I'll pull out Diamond documentaries. Those are absolutely just awesome for good motivation. A good TED Talk or something like that. Just reading a chapter in a personal growth book. We have a list of a lot of great books. I'm a Christian also, so I don't know, but I think he likes seeing himself. He wants some selfies, y'all. He's smiling, so cute. So anyway, sorry, sidetracked. I listened to channel 63 on XM, The Message, and I get filled back up again, and I'm ready to go. So it's just, taking a moment to understand that your problems are normal and that we all go through, different periods in our business with this. And just remembering that you're an entrepreneur and you're doing this. This is your business. You're building a business. It's going to have ups and downs. All businesses do, and it's normal. It's a part of growing. If everybody that started a small business gave up before people do this for 5, 6, 7, 8 years struggling if they're struggling with a business, but they keep moving forward and keep doing it. And so just, reaching out to anyone closest to you and plugging in anytime you're feeling discouraged, the best way to pull yourself out, and knowing you're normal. I think a lot of the ladies said it's okay. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm. And I remember hearing that at convention and leaders retreat, they said last year at leaders retreat, I wasn't Diamond, I was Ruby. And they had all the diamonds up there in the front. And I'm like, oh, wow, those diamonds, top of the company, amazing. And they said the reason they are diamonds and the reason they're in the front of everyone is because they've had more no's and more rejection than any other person in the room. And I thought, wow, that's what I need. I just need to hear no more. I just need to keep going through it all. And everyone who does not give up will be a diamond. I heard that 2 years in a row at convention, and I believed it. And that's how I did not give up. And that's how we don't let our teams give up. Just keep pushing through. So I want to have everyone give your top tips, building momentum and growth. Anybody, if you had someone on your team who wanted to be in Maui next year, what would you tell them that they need to start doing today in order to be there? Whoever wants to go first.
I would say get plugged in, get in the team page, engage the team pages, take advantage of three-way chats and three-way calls with your sponsor, utilize your sponsor, but draw the line in the sand and decide that you're going to be there and vision yourself there. If you can't see yourself in Maui next year, you're probably not going to make it. You have to know that you can do this. So belief is huge. Belief in yourself, belief in the products, belief in the company, personal growth. You need to be growing yourself. You can't grow a business without growing yourself. So me personally, I challenged myself a long time ago to do 30 minutes a night, just 30 minutes of reading a night. I know a lot of people have their books. They have them downloaded on their Audible, on their apps, on their Kindle or whatever it is. But be honest, are you really reading your books? You know what I mean? Challenge yourself to do just a little bit every night. You might have to sacrifice your favorite TV show, but I couldn't tell you who the new Survivor is or who the Bachelor is. But I've poured into myself so that I can pour into others.
I would definitely second that. The personal growth. I think Sonia Dudley had said, if you focus on growing yourself more than you're even focusing on your work in the business, you're going to grow. You have to grow yourself. And for me, we do book studies every week with the team, and just reading one page, and even if I'm not down or like, oh, I don't feel like I can do any more Plexus work today, I hardly ever feel like that, but I'm like, oh my gosh, one page, I'm like, I need to call someone, this is amazing, this is incredible, who can I talk to? So just reading, like Cody said, is so important. Who else?
I would definitely agree on the personal growth. Was that Sue? Oh, I thought Sue was trying to say something. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, personal growth, that's definitely been a huge part of my journey, massive. Because like I said, when I first started, I worked really hard for months and months, and I quit. I only got halfway to gold after 7 months of busting it. And when I did all the personal growth, learned everything I could, changed my mindset, when I started working my business again, from silver to emerald for me was a year. And the only thing that changed was my mind. I still had the same upline. I still had the same products. What changed was me. And so personal growth is literally half. I would say it's half. If you work really hard at your job, you can earn a living. But if you work really hard on yourself, you can earn a fortune. And I really believe that to be true. So personal growth. IPA is one half of this business. Personal growth is the other half. Be consistent. Like I said earlier, you have to work this like a business. Get up every single day knowing you have a mission. You have work to do today. You can't expect results with anything if you're just half-heartedly doing it. You know, if you're trying to get fit, you're not going to do it if you just work out 2 days this week and no days the next week and 5 days the next week and two. No, that's not realistic to expect that. So your business is the same way with eating healthy. Anything that you want to be successful at, consistency is the key. I would say learn everything that you can learn. Your car should be a rolling university. Sarah Robbins says that your car should have two things, gas and a personal growth CD. And so that's what I did. I did get up early to do my personal growth. I read a lot of books, but I also had a video playing, not watching, but playing while I was riding down the road, or just if I was folding laundry and I didn't have to, stare at the phone, I could just listen. I was just learning anything that I could. If successful people were doing it, I was doing it, and I got rid of my excuses. So that's another thing. To get to Maui next year, you have to get rid of your excuses, because for every excuse that you make, there is a jewel out there that could have made the same one plus 3 more, but they chose not to. So adversity is a part of life. We all have difficulties and challenges that we have to overcome, but how bad do you want it? You just have to get rid of your excuses and just do it. Just make a decision you're going to do it.
Definitely agree with everything there. Sue?
Yes, I do too. Good stuff, you guys. I want to say, I just love to keep telling myself, do it afraid. There have been so many times where I have gone up and talked to someone and I was scared out of my mind. But you do it anyways because you have to believe, you have to have that mindset. And it's to not share. So just be bold. Be bold. Do it afraid. Are huge. I never back to that mindset. And also one more thing, I think it's very important for us to be a product of the product. Make sure you are taking it consistently yourself and you are, just portraying what our products do. I think that's super important too, for people to see.
Totally agree. You've got to be passionate about what you're offering to people. And you definitely are, Sue. You're very passionate about these products, and that's why you're successful. You love what you're selling to people. Okay, Jamie or Tiffany?
Yes. So I think the three-way chats are huge. I mean, kind of like what I had said earlier with being in touch with your upline. And my connection's unstable. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Being in touch with your upline and talking to people, every day or weekly or whatever it is that you're checking in and working closely. I think the three-way chats for us are huge. And that's building relationships too, not just always Plexus, but, having a relationship with people. This is a relationship business. Coach calls, we started going over your whys and goals on a weekly basis is important. And being coachable by example, I think is key. You have to, like kind of Sue said, be a product of the product and lead by example. Like a lot of the girls have said, being consistent with your IPA and personal growth is huge. I think the most important thing is having unshakable belief. If you have that unshakable belief, it's going to pour into every other aspect that we've talked about. It's going to pour into your IPA and being able to get through those hard times. Your team is going to see that in you and they're going to be motivated. Prospects are going to see that in you and want what you have. Kind of like Tiffany's crazy ability to share and have everybody in the world focused on her because she's so excited. That makes a difference when you have that belief and are excited and people see that in you and want that. So I think having that belief and working on getting that, and how you get that belief is by, pouring into learning about these products and diamond documentaries and, working with your upline, all those kind of things. You can build that belief. So if you don't have that right now, that's okay. You can build on that and get there and have that unshakable belief to get you through all those, hard times or to help with you with that growth and the momentum and everything. So, yeah.
Yes, exactly, Jamie. Tiff, you're unmuted here.
All right. We got the baby to sleep for a second there. I definitely agree with everything these ladies said. I was going to try to add a few other things. Your IPA, doing your 3-2-1, that's huge. I think you should be doing 3-2-1 every month. You should be plugged into Monday night calls. The book study is really going to help, our Thursday night book studies. the three-way calls and chats. Another thing is important is growing your networking base. You know, trying to make new contacts every day, adding 2 new friends to your Facebook, getting in Facebook groups. If you have a Plexus group, how about if your husband's on Facebook? This is a great one. Add him to as an admin on your Plexus page, and you know, invite all his friends to be a part of it. Just finding out different ways to kind of go above and beyond. Another thing, just when you get people on the products, get them to love the products and start sharing immediately. That's another really good thing. Back to personal growth and deciding to be all in. Brittany mentioned a lot earlier about what it means to be all in, and that's really what it's going to take to get you there. Because I think for many of us, when we all decided, you know, not to have the excuses anymore, and to find out what we were willing to sacrifice in our day-to-day activities and where we were willing to fit in the time in our routines, that's where a lot of the change could be made, and a lot of our businesses evolved at that point. So
exactly. Okay, so I'm going to kind of recap, and we will have some questions. There's a couple in the chat if you guys want to look through them and see if who wants to answer what. But in order to be in Maui next year, there's some things you guys have to do. Everything that they were saying, and I went through a couple different Get to Maui groups, and I didn't make it to Maui for 2 years, but I didn't let it stop me. And I learned what was different in my mindset and in my action between the times when I didn't make it and then when I did. And it's a couple things. It's drawing that line in the sand, being all in. So I wasn't making excuses. I was working my business. I had a strong why. And the other part, it's a numbers game. And what does it mean by being a numbers game? It means whoever talks to the most people is going to win. You need to talk to people, and the more people you talk to in an effective way that does get them interested in what you're doing, passionately excited, you have to be effective. You can't just talk to people and be like, oh, there's another one, no one's joining, just need to find someone who will. No, you should have about 2 people for every 10, or you have some skills you might need to work on. But a numbers game means you do need some people who want this as bad as you. You're going to need to find people like Tiffany, Cody, Brittany. They're my level 1s. Jamie and Sue are my 2 and 3. You need to find people who want this. And the way you are is by getting them results on the products and then saying, oh my gosh, you just told me you have more energy. Do you have any idea how many of your friends can't even get out of bed in the morning? This is amazing. You can help so many people. And, you know, just leave it as that. Pour water like a waitress. You keep putting the idea in their mind that they want to grow a business. Because if you look at the points you need for Emerald, which is what you need to get to Maui, it's 1,500. You can, if you're a really good recruiter, get there with a lot of level 1s. There's a couple people who have done that, but most people need to build a team. And you build a team by duplicating what you're doing and getting people to work the business with you. And they're going to do that by following your passion and your belief. So you have to get people working with you. That's pretty obvious. That's by doing the daily work. And if you're doing the daily work, you're putting in the hours, but nothing's happening, that's where you need to look at personal growth. So I always tell people, first look at how much activity you're putting in. How many hours a day are you working? And after that, if you are working and nothing's happening, you definitely need to really focus and buckle down on your personal growth. And that's where I was. I wanted it so bad at the beginning when I was stuck at gold. I was working 6 to 8 hours a day going nowhere. And I did that for a long time because my problem wasn't IPA, it was personal growth. And then my IPA started taking off. IPA means income producing activity. So the other thing I would say, you guys know when Plexus has all those sales and you start following up with everybody, you start reaching out to new people because there's a sale. You need to work your business every day like there's a sale. If you're silver right now and you want to go to Hawaii, you need to work like that. You're going to find some rock stars along the way and your load's going to get lighter, but you need to work every day like you hold the most amazing products in your hand. You have the most amazing business opportunity in your hands, and you're just waiting to give that gift away to people. And if you think like that, if you have that mindset, you're going to promote like crazy. And I know, because that's what all of these women did last summer. They worked their business like there was a sale. So if you have that mindset, you're going to go to Maui. You will. There's no way around it. Okay,
You know,
so
I think,
go ahead.
I think that, you know, nobody said this, I don't think during the call unless I missed it, but affirmations, that's a huge thing. Waking up every morning and telling yourself, you know, you're alive, you're excited for this day, you're ready to change lives, help others, make a difference in your own lives. You know, you have products that, you know, people need, everybody wants, anything, you know, you have a booming business. Fallon, you know, she would sit in that poll and say she had the fastest growing team in Plexus, and she told herself that every single day. And she was, you know, she was at gold, I believe it was. But she was telling herself that every day, and she was believing it. So just reworking your mind, that's huge.
Yep. And not getting discouraged when
Mhm.
someone tells you no, or they didn't get results on the products. You need to get a good amount of people to be having results and then duplicating. So I think the biggest thing that we're hearing in the questions is how to fit this in to your schedule. So I want you guys to think about that, and then I'm going to share, because this was something that I had wrote down here. Multitasking. That was something that I did a lot of. So we're going to start answering these questions, how to fit it in, how to balance. Multitasking was huge for me because my husband was a truck driver, and I had 5 kids, 9 and under, and my youngest was an infant, a newborn, and I was a breastfeeding mom. And I made all my food from scratch, so I was really busy. We saw my husband 3 days a month. I had 2 friends who had large families that live local to me, and nobody else. I had no help, no babysitters, nothing. So I fit it all in by multitasking and working when I could. So what you guys want to do is you want to look at your schedule. What can you cut out? Cody's cut out TV. Brittany's probably cut out. She loves to read. Maybe she started reading network marketing books instead of parenting books. Different things you can cut out. I think Tiffany cut out TV too. So look at your schedule and see how many hours a day can I work. For me, it was 2 hours during nap time and 2 hours after the kids went to bed, multitasking in between. So if it was dinner time and I was thinking about Cody and how she asked me a question while I was homeschooling the kids, I'd call her and say, hey girl, let's talk about such and such. Let's help you with your follow-up, whatever. When I had time, I would make a call to a level 1. While I was folding laundry, I would make a call because that's when I was available. And then people who work, we have girls on the team who promoted to senior Ruby. Tiffany, how long was it? Like 6 months? Working 40 plus hours a week.
Yeah, and going to school for her nuclear science degree, 2 kids, both in school, dabbling in some real estate stuff. I mean, you name it, she was doing it. She was managing over 70 people in a radiology department at a hospital, still is. So, yeah.
How did she fit it in?
And, and power lifter. We can't forget that. You know, she thought, you know, she got up a little earlier. She stayed up a little later. She thought to herself, where could she fit the time into her schedule to do it? You know, she's talked about lunch breaks. Sometimes instead of maybe, I think, walking with a coworker or something, she would take some time to send out some messages. You know, just staying up just a little bit later at night to answer some things. Just different ways like that, just fitting it into where she needed to fit it in to make it happen. I think that was, did you know other things?
Yeah. Would you believe that some of the fastest growing people on my team, they do work full-time jobs? And I had a call before this one with some of them tonight. It's because the busier you are, the less excuses you make. You know you have this amount of time to get stuff done, so you just do it. And it's by carving out that time. And one of my excuses at the beginning when I only had 4 kids was, I don't have time. So when I had less time technically and more kids, I made it work because I stopped saying that. And sometimes using your weekend to do a blitz, lots of follow-up, things like that. What about you guys? Any tips for fitting it in?
I think driving in the car too, when you're driving, take a minute to do, I'll do coaching calls sometimes driving in my car, different places or going things, stuff like that.
I think you make time for what's important for you, right? So just like you make room in your budget for what's important for you or to you, you make room in your day for what's important to you. And if you have drawn the line in the sand and you've gone all in and you're going to the top, you'll find time in your day, whether you're waking up earlier, going to bed later. For us, I had a conversation with Christopher and my husband and was like, this is going to change our lives and I need you to be supportive and I need you to pick it up a little bit around the house. Give me 1 year and I'm going to make it happen. We also talked to our kids. We didn't do extracurricular activities for an entire year, an entire season for all the kids. Nobody did anything extra because we were all sacrificing. This wasn't my dream. This was our dream. It was our family's dream. And we let the kids dream with us when we talked about when mommy hits emerald, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? When mommy hits diamond, all of these things, we let them dream with us. Where do you guys want to go? What do you guys want to see? Make it a family dream. It's not just your dream. It's your family's dream.
And you don't necessarily have to work 40 hours a week to be wildly successful with this. It's what you do with the time you do have that really counts. Mm-hmm. If you're doing your IPA and doing it really hard, that is what is really good. I mean, you can build a successful business as long as you're being consistent with your IPA. And then another thing is sacrifice. It does require some sacrifice, and Fallon mentioned that earlier. You have to decide what is the most important to you, and you have to keep in mind that the sacrifice is temporary. It's not permanent. It's not a long-term thing. It's just a short-term thing. So like when I was, the month before I hit Emerald, I knew I had a goal. I had to add this many people that month in order to hit Emerald the following month. That was the month I worked the hardest. And I homeschooled less, and homeschooling is a top priority to me. But for that month, I just didn't do as much of it because I knew, okay, well, after I hit it that next month, and then I'll have all summer. You just have to know that it's temporary, short term for what you really want in the long term.
Yeah, for me, it was staying up later at night, finding that time to, you're not stay up an extra hour or 2 hours or whatever it is. My poor husband, but when we drove places, I wasn't very talkative. I was, working on the business, and that's a nice thing. You can do most things from your phone. So I was doing that. So he could probably spew off tons of Plexus stuff, in his sleep because he hears me talk about it all the time. So part of that sacrifice is kind of what used to be maybe more of our time, getting dwindled down a little bit to do some for now. And I told him that same thing too, for a year, kind of go at it hard, let my house go and not worry about being in tip top shape. And that might frustrate us at sometimes, but it's a priority and of what's going to get done in the day. And some of that sacrifice that I had done too.
I think we talk a lot about sacrifice, and that's because you're going to sacrifice somehow. If you're working 40, 60 hours a week at a job that you don't like or it doesn't pay very much, that's a sacrifice. You don't see your family. You're working a job you don't love. So you can take a few hours out of your free time and fun time and turn it into business time. 2 to 4 hours a day and then some time on the weekends is definitely enough to get some momentum going. You just need to do it 5 days a week and be consistent with it, no matter how you feel about it. And then the results will come, and then it is more fun. It is more exciting. And then you don't realize you missed your TV shows or whatever it is, because for me, I gave up working out in the morning. I just did not have time to work out for an hour anymore. I did have time, but I chose to do my Plexus business for it. So it was just a priority for me.
I love this quote I'm going to share with you guys. Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. I love that. And you just got to ask yourself, what are you willing to do to have the life of your dreams? What are you willing to change? What are you willing to give up for now? Like Brittany said, this isn't permanent. But I drew my line in the sand really quickly. I joined in March, started working my business in April. And at that point, I had already decided that there wasn't anything anybody could say or do that was going to stop me from making this happen. But I hit Emerald in 14 months. If you drew your line in the sand today and decided the same, the excuses go out the window, there's nothing anybody can say that's going to change this or take this away from you. Think about what your life could be like a year from now, and what are you willing to change or to give up, or what are you willing to do to have the life of your dreams?
Yes, I think, and that's a good ending point right there. It's really a matter of how bad do you want it. Everybody wants to go to Hawaii, who doesn't? But how bad do you want to? How bad do you want the time freedom? I think that's the biggest thing for all of us. Brittany wanted to go to Hawaii to take her family. She didn't want to go alone. This is all about our families and our loved ones, spending more time with them. So ask yourself, how bad do you want this? What can you do? Carve out 2 hours a day. Just start there. Where are you wasting time? Now that I have all day to work on my business, I realize I aimlessly scroll Facebook a bit too much. So I set some boundaries for myself. I'm back to having hours where I'm going to work my business. And that's one of the first things we teach people on our teams to do, is set some business hours. That way okay, this is work time. I'm not going to get lost shopping for rain boots right now. I'm working. So holding yourself accountable. But I think that's all the questions that we have from everyone. So we will talk to you guys later, and have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.